So thank you for coming today. This is actually I just want to help you all do a little bit more when it comes to success habits and understand the the importance of habit in our daily lives. It's so important to everything that we do. One of the things that is the biggest thing that Bob teaches is about the knowing doing gap, right? And we have to believe in ourselves one step at a time. And we also have to build habits one step at a time. And most of what we're doing in self-development is creating new habits. That's really what it comes down to, is creating new habits. So you all are pretty advanced in this group that are here right now. So I want this to be as helpful to you as possible. So if you have any questions as I'm going through this, stop me and ask me how it can relate to you in your specific area, because I want this to be tailored to you. There aren't any real beginners in this room right now, so you are going to ask away in however this is going to help you in your development now. Um, Bob Proctor said, of course, that we don't get what we want, we get what we are. And so that's why so many people read the books, listen to the podcasts, watch the seminars, come to these events, and yet their lives don't change, right? There's so much information that's just oozing out of the internet for us to consume. But it's not the knowing that does it for us. Yes, we have to start with awareness. That's a thing. But we have to do something with the awareness. Otherwise, it doesn't do us any good. So, what we really have to focus on is starting to do the things that our studying is teaching us. So, it's not because people aren't smart enough, it's not because they don't want their goal badly enough, it's not because they haven't, decided what they want, it's because they haven't built the habits that turn knowing into doing. So I don't know about you, but I love studying personal development and it just sucks me right in. And I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. I plastered quotes all over my closet wall. So I open up my clothes and I read a success quote, and it just makes me feel good to read all of these success materials and be immersed in it. But you know what I learned is just studying doesn't do anything. I have to apply it to something. And that's the frustrating thing about it. We think that because we're consuming all this information, we believe that we are growing. But the only thing that's growing is the pile of knowledge in our conscious mind. So we have to turn that knowledge into actual actionable steps so that we can start reaping the benefits of all the stuff that we know. So after years of reading and listening and going to seminars and taking all the courses, I was in the same place. And especially after, this is the key, when I was in gymnastics and had a very specific goal to go after, I was applying personal development to my sport, right? And it was easy to do because I was in the gym every day and I was working on it and I was applying what I was learning to that. But then as I got older and I finished up in gymnastics, I didn't really have a specific tailored goal that Bob is talking about and a real burning desire, like Napoleon Hill says. And so it was hard to apply all my personal development knowledge to nothing. Right? When I was in the gym, I was applying it to my gymnastics. But when I didn't have a very tailored and pointed goal, I just kind of floated around and collected information. So we have to have a goal first and foremost. We have to have a burning desire. And it's really key because otherwise there's no point to really developing any new habits if we don't have a point that we're going after. So how do you feel about your goal? How do you feel about the place you're headed? Do you feel like you have a burning desire that you know exactly what it is that you want? What do you think? Does anybody want to share? Who knows? LA, do you have a very specific goal that you have that you want?
Um, yes. Well, mine is basically going to building my business because
Mm-hmm.
I have want to have it as backup for retirement, and I because I need the extra money as um
Mm-hmm.
as a lot of people out here that's going to need another source of income because they're going to be losing their jobs or they're going to be in the same on the same situation. So I'm targeting them and I'm looking for them and I don't know I don't know what's going to happen at my current employment because we still kind of we're not steady as far as what we doing yet. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have to go back into manufacturing at my age. I don't feel it's going to be easy to do because of
Okay.
that.
So building your business is kind of you can do a lot of things to build your business. Do you have a very clear image of what you want your business to look like?
Yeah, I want to have enough. Well, I have a basic idea. I ain't gonna say a clear one and whatnot. I have an
Mm-hmm.
idea. I want to have, especially using being network marketing. So I want to have not a lot of distributors, at least 100 distributors that I'm going for. I want to have at least 10,000 customers as a starting point,
Mm-hmm.
and then build on that as from year to year.
Okay. And so is that goal, so 10,000 customers, 100 people, the network
Distributors,
under you, is that correct?
yes.
So within a year, is that what you're looking to aiming at?
Well, I'm gonna say 2 years on that because that might be it would be nice. I would love to have
Okay,
that.
then, okay, here's the key. Say
Okay.
it's a year, and if your guess wrong, change the date.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Uh huh.
And this is why. It lights a fire under you.
Uh huh.
Second, it's a big goal, and you have no idea how it's going to happen, but it
Right.
requires you to take action, right? And if you
Right.
put it off for another year, guess what you're probably going to do for the first year?
Not a whole lot.
Right. So it's a year. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And that's a really important distinction. Some people don't believe in putting a date on our goals. And Bob always said, put a date on your goal so it gives you a sense of urgency. And if you're what I want to tell you right now is that you want it in a year. That's your goal. That's your spirit telling you that's what you want. That's your desire. Your paradigm is telling you, you better go for 2 years. Okay.
Okay.
So don't give in to that guy even before you start.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
yeah, it should be big and bold
Uh,
because you've never done that before, right?
oh no, no.
Oh no. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Good. Thank you for sharing. Do you have any questions about that, LA?
um. No, you kind of clarify some things. If I do, I'll come back or I'll reach out to you
Okay.
and we can
Perfect.
work something out there.
My only recommendation is to just get as clear as you can. So spend a few days maybe just thinking about it and thinking about all the things that you want encompassed in that 10,000 customers and 100 um, what do you call them?
Distributors.
Distributors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I like it. Anybody else want to share what your big goal is? Do you feel like it's clear? Hmm. Hi, Steph. Do you have anything that you want to say? No, it's okay. You don't have to. Okay. So,
Is it
oh, go
me?
ahead. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I was unmuted and that I wrote Steph instead of Stephanie.
Oh, sorry. Hi,
But
Stephanie.
that's okay. It's okay. I have a goal. It's actually a short-term goal for this weekend. I'm an artist and I'm in an art fair
Uh-huh.
and I want to sell at least $2,000 worth of my jewelry this weekend.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
have done that many times, you know, so
you have, is that what you said?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And so what does that look like? Can you envision what it feels like and looks like to do that?
Yes. Yeah, very well. Because
Okay.
I have done it.
So why not up it just a little bit?
Well, this is going to sound negative because it's October. It's not the time where a lot of people come to do like big shopping, Christmas shopping
Ah,
and stuff. And then
uh-huh.
the second reason is that I'm realizing that sometimes I don't set the goal big because I don't want to be disappointed because it
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else can identify with that one? I can definitely identify
Mhm.
with that one.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so thank you for being honest because that's so true. We just hope for the best and I don't want to set it too high because I don't want to be disappointed. But at the same time, if we don't set it high or higher, then there is no reason for higher to show up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll raise it a 500.
Ooh, okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit more, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
start envisioning what that looks like in your bank account. Start envisioning what that looks like in your inventory, right? And just
Uh-huh.
imagine that. And you're like, oh no, I got to make some more.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll be busy next week making, because
Yeah.
then I have another show the following weekend.
Wonderful. I love it. That's so fun. I think your jewelry is so pretty.
Oh, thanks. You saw it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's so pretty. It's the
Oh,
glass. It's glass, right?
it's glass and sterling silver.
Mm-hmm. So pretty. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Course. So when
Mhm.
we have a really clear idea of what we want, we have the ability to really focus on that. We have the ability to bring in new ideas that'll show up. We have the ability to magnetize ourselves to the opportunities that might come. So Stephanie, maybe you never know, someone's coming and looking for like one guy is coming to look for a ton of jewelry. Who knows? You know what I mean? You never know. Some person might be showing up and you'll be attracting that guy for those extra 500, right? So you never know what's going to happen. The universe can do anything. And that's one of the biggest things that I learned is the universe can do anything. And we have no idea what's at play in the background. So that's part of where faith comes in, right? Faith in planting the seed and faith in, okay, this is what's happening. I don't know how, but it's gonna. So we have to start really building that faith. And so this is how you do it. And these are the 3 success habits that I'm going to share with you today. And this isn't a very long masterclass, but I think that it'll help you get moving. So the first habit is self-image. And this requires you to set a goal because when we don't set a goal, we can't match a self-image to our goal. So what we need to do is decide what it is that we truly desire. And so when we decide what we desire, then we can begin creating the self-image of the person that matches the goal that we set for ourselves. So LA, for instance, you can start now imagining the characteristics and the traits of the person, that version of you who has 100 distributors and 10,000 customers. You can begin imagining what that version of you looks like, how he dresses, how he carries himself, what he thinks, what he feels, how he acts on a daily basis, right? And who cares about Social Security? Because I'm set, right? All that stuff is that's the attitude, right? And so when you can begin embodying that, you begin coming from that place. So self-image is so, so important. And growing up, I didn't know that self-image was so important, but I was doing it unconsciously. So I was what Bob calls an unconscious competent. And I saw myself, for instance, as the gymnast that I wanted to be. I saw myself at this, I picked my school when I was 13. I picked my college. I was like, I'm going there and Bill is my coach and I'm on that team and I'm competing for them, right? So I became that version in my imagination. And that's how I conducted myself every day. I had to work hard. I had to build my flexibility and my strength. And I didn't go to parties. I didn't do anything that would be of detriment to my growth as a gymnast. I had a vision of exactly what I wanted, and I acted like her every single day. So after I ended that gymnastics career, though, my self-image, I mean, I spent 37 years in the sport. I didn't compete that long, but I spent 37 years in the sport, and I found that my self-image was stuck in the sport, even though we had closed our gym and I had moved on. And so I had to learn how to create a new self-image, and one where I was successful no matter what I did, rather than successful only in gymnastics. So it took effort, and it took focus, and it took thought, and it took time, and it took organized structure. But I did it, and so can you. And that's why I offer my self-image scripting workshops. So if you're not signed up for it, I'll put it in the chat really quick. The self-image scripting workshops coming up this Monday. I host them on the first Monday of every month. So and they're free. So you can come to them as many times as you want to, because I believe in creating this self-image for yourself. So just let's do a really quick exercise here. I hope you have a pen and paper. So just write one sentence of that reflects the version of you who has your goal. So for Stephanie, yours would be the version of you who sells 2,500 pieces over the weekend. Woohoo! I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I did it, right? That type of thing. LA, you are going to write a sentence about the version of you who has 100 distributors and 10,000 customers. How great. And Donna and David, same thing. Whatever your goal is, write just one sentence. So that'll kind of start you off on this self-image scripting thing. And if you have a self-image script, which I know a few of you do, then you can begin to, you can take from it, you can extract something from that script, and something that really is like the beacon of it. Because I think that there is really, when we create these self-image scripts, yes, it's a well-rounded personality that we're creating, but at the same time, there is one key sentence that really we need to start believing for ourselves. For me, like I said, I am successful, period. Not I am a successful gymnast. I am a successful gymnastics coach. I am successful. That's it. Right. So that was one of my big ones when I was switching my self-image from gymnastics to personal development and anything and everything in my life. Does that make sense? There is something that really is at the crux of it all. And mine was switching from that whole gymnastics thing to being successful, period. So does anybody have any questions about habit number one is really creating that self-image script and living with it every single day. All right. So the second habit is daily study. And I know I started off today with, hey, all we do is study and all we do is gathering knowledge, but this is different. So knowledge is only potential power, right? But what matters is what you do with the knowledge. When I was just consuming personal development material, I would read anything and everything. I don't know if that's you, but that was me. And I would listen to YouTube, but it wasn't until I was focused and organized with my daily study that that was creating a habit, based in habit and based in repetition, right? Repetition is the mother of all learning. And so I needed to do those things, be organized, have a structured curriculum, and really instill these new repetitive habits into my daily life. That's when it started to shift. For a long time, I didn't understand the power of repetition in personal development. Of course, I understood it in the gym, Repetition was the key to success in the gym. We did basics. My first gymnastics book was called Basic Training, and the kids were complaining about repeating all these baby skills all the time. And that's gymnastics. We have to, it's any sport. We have to repeat, but it's not just sports. It's everything. How did you learn how to spell words? Well, you repeated it. How did you learn what your name was when you were a kid? You repeated it. How did you learn where the stuff was on the map? You repeated it. Repetition is the key to learning. So I didn't make that translation from gymnastics and school to personal development and growth, but it is key. And so when we study something that's structured, then we can begin repeating it over and over and over again. And so Path to Mastery, obviously, you're all in it. And Stephanie, you're in the Born Rich Foundations. And so all of those courses within the Path to Mastery builds on applying immediately what you're learning. It's based on reading Bob over and over and applying it immediately through the workbook. And I do highly suggest that you read Bob's book for 90 days straight and go through that Born Rich Foundations course. And if you finish with the Born Rich Foundations course, you can move into Mind First, but continue reading You Were Born Rich during that time. So you can finish Born Rich Foundations and Mind First within 90 days, both of them if you choose to, but keep reading Bob's book at the same time. And the reason is this: Bob says read it 1,000,000 times if you have to, right? And he says that almost every chapter. Read this 100 times, read this 100 times. He's telling us to just repeat all of this information. And so when we are repeating what Bob is saying in the book and then have a focused and organized studied structure that we're applying immediately what Bob is teaching inside our workbook and then taking it into our life, then we're making the magic happen. So you can't get to the repetition and build your level of belief in the material if you're not focused and organized. So that's what this does. It builds your level of belief. It allows you to apply Bob's teaching. And so here's your 5-minute simple formula that I want to share with everybody. And I showed everybody in this when I read How to Study Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I read that book at just 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes is better than nothing, right? So that's where I urge everybody to start. Everyone can find 5 minutes in their day. And I just ask that you build that habit of study. And so what I do is I suggest 2.5 minutes of reading. So it's like a page, right? So you could take a page of You Were Born Rich, read it for 2.5 minutes, and then spend 2.5 minutes kind of going over what you had just read, maybe journaling about it, reflecting on it, and then pick an action step that you can take today that Bob talks about in the book. So, and apply it to your goal, of course. Apply it to your goal and apply it to the self-image of who you are becoming. So you can just begin to take strides forward with just 5 minutes. And so that encompass is reading, right? 2.5 minutes. It encompasses reflecting on what you learned, and then it reflects action. So action is always key to the whole study portion of it. So even if you are just reading for 5 minutes a day, you're building your level of belief. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? When you move from foundations to Mind First, don't move from foundations to Mind First until you can study for 5 minutes every day. And then Mind First, we up it to 10 minutes, right? And so we're studying now, you're reading Bob, but you're also studying the Mind First curriculum and you're applying it. And at least 10 minutes. That's the minimum. So what you're doing as you are growing is you're setting standards for yourself. The version of me who has my goal studies for X number of minutes every day. So I'm becoming that version of me, right? So then the third habit that I want to share with you is taking action. Taking action is a habit because not taking action is also a habit. So we have to understand that if we're just sitting on our hands and consuming information, that's a habit. So awareness without action changes nothing. So I know everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people say it's all in awareness. So we have to be aware. Awareness is the beginning, right? But we have to understand that if we don't do anything with our awareness, we're not doing anything with our lives. We're not moving forward. So Wallace Wattles wrote, by thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. So what that means is, for instance, for the horses, right? So when I very first decided that, ooh, I want horses in my life, the very first thing that I thought of was, well, that version of me who has all the horses she took lessons. That was the first thing I did. So I thought about it. I thought, ooh, I want horses in my life. And then, so I brought it to me. I brought it to me. And then by action, taking a lesson, I received, right? And now you all know that I have lots of horses in my life. So it takes steps. And so begin where you are and take the first step. And then the next step will reveal itself. It really will, I promise you, especially if you stay true to your goal. Bob Proctor studied Think and Grow Rich every single day for 61 years. And he said, you can't just think and grow rich, you have to do something with those thoughts. So train yourself to ask yourself, am I acting on what I learned? So if you read something completely poignant in either You Were Born Rich or any of the other like Thinking into Results, a couple of you are in Thinking into Results in this call. If you read something that is particularly poignant during your studies, ask yourself, am I acting in that way? How can I act on that today? Because the version of you who has your goal acts on stuff that they read, I promise you. So when you have the self-image script of the life that you want to live, and that acts as a blueprint for you. And that's my blueprint, right? I have my self-image script, and I was listening to it today and I was like, oh, yes, this is awesome. This is who I am. This is my life. And in fact, I say that at the top of my script. I said, this is who I am. This is my life. And it's not remarkable that I repeat what I have in my script all the time when I'm talking to you all. And a daily study habit that builds your level of belief in who you are and the laws that govern your being. And so when we start out with Born Rich Foundations and then we move to Mind First, we build that habit of study. We're building that level of belief in what Bob is teaching and the laws of the universe and your creative capacity as a human being. And then we move into the path to mastery, which allows us to really focus in on what we desire and our purpose here on this planet. And then the next level, of course, is to develop those intellectual faculties and to learn about and live with in harmony with the laws of the universe. So it moves you up. So as you get more acclimated to this study habit, you can build your level of belief more and more and more. So then you can begin to move into aligned action every day because you have the script, you have the discipline in the study, and then you have your level of belief that's stacking on top of each other. And when you don't have these things, you become the plaything for outside circumstances. You come up with reasons why you can't. You come up with, oh, I shouldn't go after that, or I'm at a certain age and I shouldn't want more, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Those are all your paradigm talking. Remember when we were talking to LA and he said, well, maybe I should do 2 years because that's a big goal. Well, guess what? That's your paradigm talking. You want 1 year, don't you, LA? You want it in 1 year or less. I would put or less on I put it actually in my goal card says September 10th, 2026 or sooner. It's a big goal. and it lit a fire under my butt. So it'll do that for you. And if you read it over and over and over again every single day, like Bob says, you'll be reminded of it every single day. So here's a challenge. Decide on one small action that you can do today that aligns with the self-image of this in the sentence that you wrote before. So when you wrote your self-image sentence at the beginning of this call, what is one action that's aligned with that self-image? So I'll use my example of I am successful. And this is an important thing because I shared this with I think it was my elite group. It was a while ago that I shared it with you all, but I was, oh yeah, it was when Lucy, the horse, was not wanting to be caught for a while. And I was walking down there and I was like, oh, I hope I can catch her today. And I go, wait. I am successful, which means I'm successful in everything, which means I am successful at catching Lucy. So it doesn't matter how big or small, relatively speaking, it is, the success is. If you believe you are successful, you're going to stop yourself from thinking those thoughts about not catching the horse or not making the money or not getting the clients. You're going to stop yourself and go, no. I am successful. And so if I am successful, or since I am successful, everything I do is successful, including catching this horse, right? So it doesn't have to be big or small. You're successful, period. So do you see how that one sentence can translate into everything that you do? So it's really important. So look at what you just did. And we just were here for 30 minutes. And so you wrote a new line for your self-image. You committed to 5 minutes of study and you chose an action for the day. So you can do what it takes for you to get to where you want to be. And you're not going to change everything overnight. Habits take repetition to change, but we have to be committed to changing in order to make it happen. So you just need to keep saying yes to yourself every single day. Wake up and say yes to yourself. Go ahead, David.
Okay. Am I muted?
No, you're good
Alan?
now. You're good.
Okay. I'm unmuted. Okay. No, when you were talking about, taking instead of 2 years, do it in 1 year or do it in less. It reminded me of something I read, a quote from Elon Musk I read about a month ago. He said, write out your 10-year goal and try and accomplish it in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
He said, whether you do or don't, that's the mindset an entrepreneur needs to have.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. That's a great one.
You've got to be that person fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because, using LA's example, to recruit 100 distributors, you're probably going to need to talk to about 1,200 people.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it 6 days a week, that's going to be, what is that? You're basically going to need to talk to at least a half a dozen people a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, that's now, how do I reverse engineer that? What does that first conversation look like? And when you fail miserably, do it better in the second conversation. And with what you're learning and what you're studying, that by that 10th conversation, you'll be rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Right? You
I love
reverse
it.
engineer. What I'm really interested in, Mary, in this is talking about habits. Is that really is, there are certain things that you've taught me or that we've discussed through the years, praxis, action taking. It's, for me, just the way my mind works. I really think along the lines of what I just described. It's, you have to reverse engineer it.
Yep.
It's not, that's where I want to be in a year, and this is how I'm going to feel It's not about the dollar signs. It's about all those things, but all those things have to emanate from my next action, my next right thought leading to my next right action. And that's one thing at a time. So what
Yeah.
am I going to do at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm.
Does that
And
make sense?
absolutely. And though, in order to take aligned action, you have to really get into that mindset of
That's right.
that version. So where you reverse engineered from, you have to get to that where you started from back to when you act. So does that make sense? So you have to align
Absolutely.
yourself with the version of you that has the 100 distributors. So how does he contact this first person? Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Who is that person? And that's who I have to be by tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the best of my ability, right? That's
Right.
why we're
And you're going to
studying.
get
That's
better and
why
better every day.
that's why we're on this call tonight. That's why we're doing our 10 minutes a day. And I do more than that. It's getting better every day. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that when you're making that 20th call, that 200th call, you are so in line with the person who has what that goal is that you can't fail. That's where, that's expecting abundance. That's chapter 5, right?
That is chapter 5, and you were born rich, expect an abundance. That's right.
Yeah.
So good.
So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I love it. That's so great. Thank you, David. Thank you. Does anybody else?
David, question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Could you repeat that quote, please, again?
Oh, write out, decide on what your 10-year goal is and accomplish that in the next 6 months.
Decide to accomplish it in the next 6 months. Ooh. Yeah. I think we can take advice from Elon. He's going places like Mars.
He's doing all right. Yep. What's hilarious about him? And people make fun, people like to badmouth anybody, right?
Mhm.
As soon as you lift your head above the crowd, somebody wants to knock you back down.
Yeah.
It's whack-a-mole. But
Yeah.
one thing is that's funny is that he built PayPal. That's where he got his original money, and he built that thing from scratch.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
like Bill Gates, just like
Jobs.
Steve Jobs, right? In his mother's garage, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And he built that thing, and he sold it for $180 million.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, what he did was he invested 100 million of that in Tesla. He invested 50 million in SpaceX, and he invested 30 million in another tech company. And then he realized he was broke again and he had to borrow money for rent.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He didn't go out and buy a fancy car, he didn't go whining and dining,
Mhm.
He just invested the money, right? The money circulated. And the guy had to borrow rent money. It's not about the money, it's about what you want to achieve,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that alone is such a beautiful lesson from him.
Yeah.
Right? It's what's next. What's next? When you hit that C level goal, what's the D level goal? And boy, when you hit the B level goal, you better be planning on that D level goal, right? Because
Yeah.
your B becomes your new A.
Mhm. Yep.
Right? You just keep going. If you love what you're doing, right? You're going to end up with 400 horses, Mary, and you're going to go, who's next?
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you,
But
David.
yeah, that's where I keep ending up with
Yeah.
with our study and whatnot is that intersection between what we're studying, what we're learning, what I'm thinking, and what I'm doing. That really is. It's almost like because what I'm doing there's infinite possibility, and what I'm thinking is infinite possibility. So those are infinite and infinite are really really big.
Pretty darn big.
And
Yeah.
I can't do infinite and infinite at 9 o'clock in the morning.
No, but
So
you get one thing good, right?
that's the point. That's the point. Where do those two things intersect? And that's my next right action.
Yeah, that's really good. Thomas Troward talks about the fact that you can't do tomorrow's work today,
That's right.
right?
That's right. And Bob uses the hourglass analogy.
Yep.
You have this moment,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. And the very powerful thing about this moment is you get to choose who you are now. So even if
That's right.
you don't see the money around you, you can be that version. Who am I now? Right now, I can be that person who has the 100 distributors and the 10,000 clients. I can be that person now. So just take a minute and think, okay, as this person, what's my next step?
Right.
Mm.
And you know what I find is the more I practice being that person, it's easier to go back to being that person when I'm not that person an hour from now.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what where the repetition comes in. That's where the recall comes in. It's like, wait a second, I can feel it. I'm not in alignment. Get back into alignment.
Yep.
And you can, and when with practice, you can do it in 15 seconds.
Yep.
It's where the thought becomes the feeling, and you can remember the feeling.
Mhm. Yes.
At least for
Remembering the
me.
feeling is key, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. For me.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, feeling is the secret, according to Neville Goddard.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ah, so good. Well, and this is all about selling yourself on yourself every single day, on the life that you want, on the person you want to become. You have to sell yourself on yourself. It's about committing to living the life that you want to live and not putting up with being satisfied with what you got, because David said it. You're infinite. You have infinite potential. You can do anything, be anything, have anything, right? So what are you willing to trade your life for? Are you willing to trade your life for what you keep getting? Or are you willing to trade your life for what you want in 10 years and 6 months? Right? So I would,
Amen. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I'm going to use that quote from Elon. Thank
Please
you,
do.
David.
Please do.
Yeah, that is so good. You should go after what you really want. So if you want it in 10 years, you want it now, actually, right? You just assume it's going to take 10 years, but you're infinite, so it might not, especially if you start working at it now. So you're trading your life for it. You may as well decide on it and start now. You may as well do it if that's what you truly want. I wanted horses in my life, so I started right now. You know? So just start committing to yourself every single day and start building these habits. And if it's a chore for you right now to study for 10 minutes a day, then get in the habit of studying for 5 minutes a day and build that up. And then make sure that action part is aligned and you're thinking, okay, as this version of me, how do I act? And keep thinking about that throughout your day. So that's really all I have for you all today, and I hope that it's helpful. Does anybody else have any questions or comments before we sign off?
This was very helpful.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
It was very good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good luck this weekend. It's going to be awesome. I want you to
Oh,
tell
thank
me when
you.
you sell 2,500, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Go
Thanks.
ahead, Donna.
Great.
Thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And thank you all for being here. This is so good. And remember, I'm going to be reaching out to each of you to use your or to apply your credit, your gratitude gift, because I am grateful for having you all in my community and in my life. And so I'll be reaching out to each of you to help you redeem your gratitude gift.
I know what I need.
Thank you.
What do you need, David?
Another copy of You Were Born Rich. I gave mine away.
Oh, good for you. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
send-
I was having coffee with a friend and I started telling him about it. And he goes, "Oh man, I need to read that." And I just handed it to him.
Oh,
I said,
good. We'll get them
"You
signed
read
up
that."
for foundations. We'll get them in there.
We'll see. We'll see. Next
He'll
time I
have
see
the
him, I'll bring
he
it.
has the gratitude gift. I'll extend it.
Yeah.
It's free.
He's actually now the state director of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and so I was talking to him about, he was asking me what the book was about, and I knew what would appeal to him. I was talking to him about how Bob integrates the fact that we are all spirit, we all come from God, we all come from the same place, and it's recognizing that, in our self-identity, recognizing, truly knowing that we have that infinite mental capacity,
Mhm.
and how that can really change someone's life who's feeling limited, even though, as we have so discussed, intellectually they can agree, they it's but that's not what they subconsciously believe about themselves, and how Bob Proctor helps unravel that,
Yeah.
and really brings people's belief in themselves to life. And he goes, man, that is so good. I said, here you
Oh,
go,
good.
read it.
Yay.
So it was, if I started talking to him about, setting goals, and he would have been, yeah, yeah, okay,
Wah,
okay.
wah.
But getting to the essence of really what Bob is tapping into
Yeah.
is self-identity, is self-image.
Mhm.
Um, it is when his eyes got big, and I said, okay, now you need to read this book.
I love it.
Um, it's just one of those things that recognizing what somebody's mental impediments might be, and finding
Mhm.
out and recognizing where they'd be open. It's kind of like, finding somebody's hot button and pushing it.
Yep. There you go.
So
David's
anyway,
in
I
sales.
need I
Can you
need a new
tell?
copy of the book, because mine was had notes in it and highlights in it and all
Ah,
kinds of stuff. And I still have it on my tablet, obviously. I have the PDF, but I like having the book. It's one of those books that'll be in my permanent library, along with you know, um,
lots of
Think and Grow
others.
Rich, and yeah. Well, there's that. I know my son walks into my library and just starts looking around. He goes, he's just like, you read all these? I said, yeah, at least twice, sometimes 5 times. He's just, he's,
That's the
he,
way you grow. Yep. I
he's
love
an engineer. He's like, I read all day long. I don't have time. I have no interest, But he's reading, manuals and
it. Mhm.
and all kinds of stuff that he has. He's like, still, he'd rather go to the gym, and I don't blame him. He really does. It's just part of what you do as an engineer. As you know, your husband's an engineer.
Yep.
So
A
there's, it's
recovering
just,
one.
yeah, it's not like reading fiction, and it's not like reading personal development, but it sure is reading, and you get tired of looking at words. There's
Yep,
no
that's
action.
true.
There's no action there.
Yep, that's right. That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And David, I'll send you the link to get another copy of You Were Born Rich. And
Okay, Mary.
thank you. And this
Thank you.
this is in this information is meant to be shared, right? And that David did the exact right thing. So thank you, David.
Yep,
Oh, yeah. So thank you
of course.
all once again. And if you ever come up with a question that you want me to answer, reach out to me, and you know where to find me on Facebook, and just ask away. I'm here to help. All right. So thanks for being here. And I hope this was helpful, and let me know if I can help you out in any way. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you. See
everybody.
you later.
Mhm.